Um, he starts out thanking everybody, and I want to join him in thanking people, as you know, many of us experience the loss of a loved one and the grief that happens, but we know that the most we can do for that loved one is to be there, to love the people that they left. And you know, I happen to be one of those, and so I just want to say thank you, and it means so much to have people show up and just to share in their experience of Tom and whatever special thing he brought to your life. I just thank you for coming. So James does that. Tom is our brother, and you know, growing up in our household, he says, was not easy. We were like the boomers and the Gen X's, and so when you see these reels of kids like drinking from hoses and no parents and it's Lord of the Flies, that's actually true. Truly, like parents just like had the security of knowing that their kids were close and they were going to be fine. And we were a bit of a bunch, you know. I had 4 brothers, and I would say that there was some fighting, and James calls us raucous, and I was well behaved in that group. That's actually true. And I would add that Tom was really well behaved. Like the two of us were pretty well behaved. Not that we couldn't like, you know, lose a temper here and there, but we were pretty well behaved. So that's on James and Patrick, and they were the ones who were in trouble. So Tom was generous and loving and very dedicated to his family. And I know that I've personally seen him with his children and just know how he spoke about them and just the way that he looked, or that you can see his feeling whenever he was with them or talking about them. He's always there if you needed anything from him. James was in Germany and missing home. He was pretty young. And for those who may not know us real well, our mom passed away when we were all pretty young. And so, you know, we were probably wild before, we were probably a bit wild after that, but we were certainly unfettered, right? And you know, matriarch can be so bring people together, but in our case, we were all kind of having an experience of being without a parent. And James was in Germany, and so Tom flew James to Friday Harbor to be with him because James was very homesick and heartsick and having a hard time. So he did that for him, and James never forgot that you know, he couldn't afford to fly him home, so Tom did that for him. And that's just who he was. He was the kind of person who thought about other people, and he definitely, you know, thought about his family, cared deeply about them all the time. And these are memories that are, I think, every one of us, and James says that he will hold close, like he will not forget that his brother did this for him. And he says, if Tom was your friend, then he was your family too. And I agree. I have known Tom's friends, and I have known his family, and he definitely was so deeply connected and so valued everyone. Amy was always supportive of him, and he was equally supportive of her. And you guys were his anchor. All his kids anchored him. And it brought him joy and pride. And one of the last conversations James had with Tom, you know, he was like, I'm going to be there, right? And Tom's like, look, I don't want you to be sad. And James like, no, I'm going to be there. And he did, and he got to come and he got to be with Tom. And he is grateful for that. And I just want to talk a little bit about Tom's expression to James of saying, don't be sad. I thought a lot about how we feel when somebody we love leaves. And, when I think about sadness and I think about the grief that we feel when we lose a person, it is this person. Today, this person is Tom, and there will be more. And in being a human being, grief is a cumulative process, right? It's not something that we ever get to walk out the door of, right? And how do we get to be okay with this idea of sadness and grief and the longing for another person that we cannot be with? So, I think about the scholars, the social scholars who are like, yeah, there's anger and there's denial, and then there's this idea of acceptance. And I was like, this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable to me. But what I can accept is the sadness that I feel. The longing and the missing. I accept that. Because to let go of that or pretend I don't have that, to me is the way that I honor Tom. It's the way I get to have him be present in my life forever. And him with every other person. So the idea of acceptance, I guess I think of it differently now. So I just want to borrow quickly some words from a couple people I've never met either of them. One is Edna St. Vincent Millay, who wrote, it's called A Dirge Without Music, and it's about the acceptance. And the other is Keanu Reeves. I haven't met him either, but I heard him say something really profound, and I want to share that with you. So, this is A Dirge Without Music. I'm not resigned to the shedding away of loving hearts on the hard ground. And so it is, and so it will be, for it has been time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, the wise and the lovely, crowned with lilies and with laurel they go. But I'm not resigned. Lovers and thinkers into the earth with you, be one with the dull and indiscriminate dust, a fragment of what you felt, of what you knew, a formula, a phrase. But the best is lost. The answer's quick and keen, the honest look, the laughter, the love, they're gone. They're gone to feed the roses, elegant curled as the blossom, fragrant as the blossom, I know. But I do not approve, and more precious was the light in your eyes than all the roses in the world. Down, 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 into the darkness of the grave, gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind. Quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave, I know. But I do not approve, and I am not resigned. Thanks for listening. That just sums up this kind of experience for me. I don't approve, but I'm okay. And Keanu Reeves was on a talk show, late night talk show, and I was fortunate enough to come across this, and they were going to ask him some poignant question, right? Like, get something out of a celebrity that's super profound, and oddly, it was. And I think it was Stephen Colbert who says to Keanu Reeves, he asks, Keanu Reeves, what happens when you die? He said, I know that the ones who love us will miss us. And today, we really miss Tom. Thank you.
Other than to say, I don't want you to be sad. I want you to have a party. Well, joke's on you, Dad. I'm gonna be sad and I'm gonna read a poem, which she would think is totally cheesy and dumb. Yeah. This is called Too Soon Asleep by Alberto Rios. When dusk falls on us, as it will, to dim the light of lives outlived, when night is next, when sleep is sure, when nothing's left to lift, I will be glad. The work of a day well done, this rest its good reward. The best we've earned and what we've won, this doorway opening. Our lives are like this. Years moved on beyond the words that started them. We have sung ourselves as anthem, but the song itself is done. Good news though, nice news. We got through it, beyond it all. We did not forget the words, and loud, so loud we were, though quiet we are now. Thank you all so much for being here.
And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm the first wife in the photos, first Mrs. Bang. Bellingham Costco co-workers may recall seeing all three of his wives in Costco at the same time. Or in the early 2000s. I met Tom 45 years ago, married a couple of years later when we were 18 and 21. Not in need of much, unencumbered. We didn't really think much about the future because we were having such a great time with our family and friends. That first year, we did everything together, grocery shopped, cooked, chores every weekend, camping with 2 dogs. We didn't have a lot, but we had a lot of fun. Then we got pregnant, found out we were having twins 2 months before they were born, and it was really scary. We needed double of everything and couldn't afford anything. Tom got out of the Air Force. Christopher became disabled. We bought a house, we lost his mom, and life seemed to get harder. I think when you divorce, you don't allow yourselves to remember the good times because you think you're not supposed to. You remember the bad, somehow it justifies the decisions you make. But with us, the kids were always a priority, so we made an effort to remain friends and to make things work even through challenges. Tom went on to marry 2 wonderful women, Kelly, with whom he had 3 amazing kids, someone who spent a lot of time with the boys while they were growing up. I know that wasn't always easy. And Amy, who was like a big sister to the boys as grown young men. I couldn't have asked for 2 greater women in Christopher and Robert's lives, and they were like sisters to me. And I always thought that Tom did a really good job picking wives. Life got busy, and we didn't stay connected much over the past 20 years, except through Amy. I often thought about reaching out, and don't really know why I didn't until we lost our son, Christopher. I know we both felt a lot of regret, and we somehow found a way to reconnect and share in our grief. I'm sorry it took that loss to reconnect with him, but I'm grateful for the time we had these last 5 years. I was able to appreciate the man he'd become, at the core, a really good person who loved Amy, his kids, and valued family. And he still had a great sense of humor that I saw in my boys. One memory that I will always keep in my heart was this past spring, after our fundraiser event, the whole family was at my house. My husband, Reed, was recovering from a bad fall, and his jaw was wired shut and on pain meds. As they came together to say goodbye, Reed started to fall over, and Tom, probably all 140 pounds of him, reached out to catch him. It was pitiful, and it was beautiful. And that was the last time they hugged. A couple of months later, he asked me to make him pot stickers and fried rice, one of the first things I learned how to make when we were married. So I brought it up to him. We got to reminisce about our younger days, and we talked about the family that all began with the 2 of us. I'm grateful that I got to have that little bit of time. I know he is missed by everyone who loved him, but I know that Christopher is happy to be with him again. Thanks.
I just want to say some things that remind me of my dad, because I try to go a little deeper than that. Well, like, fully up. Camouflage. I thought about wearing some today, but I went with the bears. They remind me of my dad. hostess pies.
Yeah.
And lemon meringue pie. No idea why he had diabetes. Getting my oil changed. Because I would always yell at me to do that. He won't yell, of course, but anytime my engine light goes on, I look on it. Yeah.
That was like once a week.
Derby pond.
Yeah.
That's right. He took me fishing there. He loved to fish. And we went to Derby Pond, and that was trying to fucking reel in some grass, let's be honest. Broke free of the detritus and the hook right into the front of his hat. And he took it in stride, and he was so chill about it. I think he was just happy. He was so happy to share any of his passions with us. He liked to take us out to the mountain and go shooting, and we would look for something you call honey hole. What was it? It was the casings. People would leave certain casings on the ground, and he would collect them, and we would have so much fun looking for them, and then he would, I don't know, whatever, make them into bullets or something. Shooting the BB gun in the backyard. Like a really, really giant beard. Reminds me of Dad. What else? There were 3 meals that he relied on heavily when we were kids. There was beans and rice, spaghetti, and hamburger helper. All those remind me of him. Of course, like the rest of us, he had a favorite beer, Rainier, favorite pack of smokes, Marlboro, Reds. He was a huge stoner. So. I think about him. I think about him when I light up. Just I just miss him. So I try to just sit with them for a minute when I see those things, and that's it. That's all you can do, I guess. Yeah. Thanks.
Siblings. Is that out of all the things that, I think for us, fatherhood and being and who a dad is and what a dad is got kind of complicated. It's kind of there's a lot of factors at play, but I didn't really understand the role he played in my life until after my boys. And whenever I make meals for the kids now, it's like I have a little bit of each food group. And I just remember him always giving us lunches, and there'd be like a couple mandarin orange slices and a little bit of pasta. He'd always make sure we had our bases covered in a glass of milk.
That's so milk.
But he I just think about, the voices he used to do it, whether or not they're acceptable now, socially. I think he's glad there's not footage for a lot of it. But I think a lot of us learn how to take a lot of that levity that he brought to the world and the way he saw things. He kind of not want to have stuff. He didn't like baggage in that way. He didn't really want things. At least this is my perception of him. So Just tell he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't want, he just kind of wanted to push things aside and not really dwell. At least he didn't want to outwardly dwell on things. Whenever I'm doing the dad thing, I find myself leveraging a lot of the ways that he kind of kept things fun, and you kind of take the things and pull those things out and try to bring that light and that joy that he gave us as kids. And I know my experience is different than my siblings, but I think at the end, the fact that I have this great family that I've been able to reconnect with has been really the big gift. But I'm really thankful, to spend that last day with him. And he put, he's notoriously had a guard up, right? He didn't really like this. I felt like he didn't really, I always felt like I was dealing with the tough guy version of him. He let it all down, and when he let it all down for like the split second, I mean, if there was video footage, I'd be pretty happy. It was like I was talking to this really sweet, sensitive person that was really grateful and thankful to the people around him. And that was the person that had lived at the core of him, outside of all the layers of who he wanted everyone else to perceive him as. And I think that was that moment I got to see that. That was like, I really felt the connection to have that last day I had with him. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I guess the one thing I can think about is like how much Costco played a role in him. And I know I followed suit. I worked there for 6 years. He helped me get my job there. And he kept me from misbehaving too much because I didn't want him to find out about it, because everybody knew him. I do remember one day there was a chance to learn how to do the tire shop, and I signed up to do it. I wanted to do what he did, and show him that I could do the same thing, just to make him proud. And I think I always just kind of kept a candle lit for him, even when we didn't always see things eye to eye. So I'm just really grateful to have had some time with him, and great to have my family. I love you all so much.
For about a year now. I think the second I found out, I was like, damn, okay, this anxiety's been building for like, what, a year and a half now? Let's do this. I don't even know where to start. I tried to rehearse one, and I melted down in the car for about, 50 miles. So I just want to say thanks. Or I want to start with saying thanks to Pam. She's so sweet for opening this up, and Jimmy, obviously, for writing it. And the commentary is so sweet. It's great to hear every side, because I hate to say it. I've been hearing one side of the story for about 35 years. It's good to get a little bit of another angle at it. And I want to thank my mothers, Kelly and Amy, for being here. And obviously the love between, for starting a family, for keeping it going, and for really bringing it in. Here's the thing, I'd miss him more if I didn't look exactly like him. So, I'm just thankful there's parts of him in everybody here. Every time I look in my sister's eyes, my brother's eyes, I see his hair. And every time I see Amy, I see the love that they really put in a lot of hard work to become the people and really set an example for us of like the people that we can become. And he was a hard horse to break, but I think after 1, 2, and 3 attempts, someone had to be the one, and I'm just so thankful that Amy could be there. I can't say enough kind words for all the things that my mom and dad did for me as a child. They were so sweet, waking up on Christmas morning with my dad already having beaten all of Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo that was supposed to be for me. I know, I mean, it was cool, but I actually wasn't going to be able to beat it anyways. Robert had to beat it, and I had to watch, so pretty much that was it. But, I just wanted to keep it a little light, because I know if I break down that, it's going to be a whole, I'm looking at you, baby. It's an excuse, I just don't want to cry in front of you people. But I love each and every one of you, and, all the ones that I know, and I'm certain if my dad liked you, you're all right.
in 1998 after leaving a really disastrous, horrible situation and landed with my husband and I, who wasn't my husband yet. And I remember she started working at Costco and she met somebody and it was Tom. And I was like, who? And he came to pick you up in that teeny tiny little like convertible thing. Yeah, and he was this huge tall man and he was older and he was like, what? But Tom helped Amy become Amy. Tom helped Amy create, you guys created like this funky, wonderful family. Like, you brought it all together and Tom helped Amy through some of the most horrible things that have ever happened. And Amy helped him at the end. And I am grateful for Tom for being Amy's person. And I know he's grateful for Amy being his person. And I'm Amy's best friend from we've known each other since 1980s. I figured it out today, 1986. But I love that your dad was here. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's it. Let her go. See the countdown? All right.
I'm sorry.